Meruem wasn't born a monster. He was born a weapon with no idea what mercy even was. And the scariest part isn't that he killed without hesitation. It's what happened when he finally stopped. A blind girl playing a board game did something an entire army of the world's strongest fighters couldn't. This isn't a monster's redemption arc. This is proof that even the deadliest thing ever created can be rewritten. By the end of this, you'll understand why his death is considered one of the most devastating scenes in anime history. He tore his own way out of his mother's body and killed her doing it, felt nothing. His name means the light that illuminates all, the last gift a dying queen gave to the single most perfect thing she ever produced. He wasn't born with a childhood, a memory, or a single human experience to draw empathy from. He was a biological summary of every creature and every human his mother had ever consumed, distilled into one body built purely to dominate. Within minutes of existing, a servant hesitated to obey him. Meruem killed him instantly. Within his first hours outside the womb, he killed and ate a human child, then spat the flesh out and called it disgusting, worse than anything he remembered tasting inside the womb. That's not an origin story. That's a diagnosis. A being engineered with zero capacity for empathy, because empathy was never part of the blueprint. To Meruem, humans were livestock, not people, food, tools, obstacles. He could erase entire legions with one motion, and it bored him instantly, because nothing on Earth could offer him resistance worth respecting. He only ever showed respect to raw strength, and slaughtered his own soldiers the moment he judged them beneath him. This was the single most powerful being in the entire story, and his first emotional response to existing, to conquering, to holding the whole world in one fist was contempt. Then somebody put a board game in front of him. Her name was Komugi, blind since birth, invisible in a kingdom that only worshipped strength and status. She had exactly one skill in the entire world. She played an ancient strategy game called Gungi better than anyone alive. Meruem sat down across from her, expecting what he got from everything else in existence. Total, effortless domination. It didn't happen. She didn't just hold her own. She made the strongest being on the planet feel something he had never felt once in his short, violent life. Confusion. He couldn't threaten her into losing. He couldn't read her the way he read every other creature's fear, because she wasn't afraid of him. Not because she was brave, because she simply didn't experience him the way everyone else did. She experienced the game. That single detail unravels him completely. Every being on Earth related to Meruem through terror. Komugi related to him through a shared obsession with wooden pieces on a board. Nothing else. For the first time since he tore his way into existence, someone in front of him wasn't performing submission. She was just playing. He kept coming back. He started ordering her protected, not as strategy, but because some part of him, for the first time, had something worth losing. And slowly, the only being in the story whose entire nature was built around one idea, that strength is the only power that matters, started questioning it. If strength was everything, why did the strongest thing on Earth keep returning to a blind girl who could never physically overpower him? He had no framework for that question. He was, quite literally, being rewritten by it. Then the bomb happened. Chairman Netero, the strongest human alive, had trained his entire life for exactly this kind of threat, and it still wasn't enough. His signature technique connected, hard, and Meruem barely felt it. So Netero did the only thing left. He detonated a weapon hidden inside his own body, built for one purpose: killing something no human fist could stop. The blast should have ended Meruem on the spot. It nearly did. 2 of his royal guards sacrificed their own selves to drag him back from the edge of death. Except the bomb didn't just explode. It poisoned the air around it. Slow, contagious, with no cure anywhere in the world. One guard died from it first, then the other. And Meruem, who had never once considered his own mortality, because nothing had ever come close to threatening it, finally understood he was going to die. Here's the part nobody expects. He didn't spend his final hours hunting for a cure. He didn't try to finish conquering what was left of the world, or take revenge on the humans who built the weapon that killed him. He asked one question: where is Komugi? when one of his own subordinates refused to answer, the single most powerful being in the story, the one who had executed his own soldiers for hesitating, got down on his knees in front of her. He begged. He found Komugi. He told her the truth. He was dying, and the poison inside him was contagious. Staying near him meant dying alongside him. He gave her a clean exit. Any human who had lived through what his rule did to their world would have taken it without a second thought. She didn't move. She reached for the gungi board instead and asked him to keep playing. He learned mercy from someone who had every reason to deny him any. This isn't just a fictional tragedy. It's an accurate picture of what happens when someone who has spent their entire life being feared, obeyed, or avoided finally meets a person who does none of those things. Think of anyone in your own life written off as cold, difficult, unreachable, the coworker nobody bothers with anymore, the relative everyone stopped trying to fix years ago. Most of the time, that person has learned, the same way Meruem did, that the world only approaches them with an angle attached: fear, flattery, self-interest. Genuine presence with no agenda is so rare in their experience that when it finally shows up, it doesn't get rejected. It gets absorbed, the way dry ground absorbs water it hasn't seen in years. Komugi never tried to fix Meruem or reform him. She just kept showing up to the board. That, on its own, did what an entire army of the world's strongest fighters couldn't. Meruem died in her arms, losing his sight first, then his strength, then finally his breath, with the one person on the planet who had never once feared him, holding on until the end. Komugi died minutes later, choosing him over every year of life she had left. The final pages render almost entirely in white space and black panels, nothing but two voices in the dark, because by that point, nothing else in the world was worth drawing. That's why this death levels people. Not because a powerful character died. Powerful characters die constantly in this genre. It's because the single most terrifying being in the entire story spent his actual last words not on conquest, not on legacy, not on revenge against the humans who killed him. He spent them making sure the one person who ever looked at him without fear didn't have to spend her final moments alone. He was built to be humanity's extinction, and the thing that stopped him wasn't a weapon, an army, or a god. It was a blind girl who never once tried to beat him. She just kept showing up.